recent volatility in markets has done little to quell recession fears among investors, and now closely followed bond billionaire and DoubleLine Capital CEO Jeffrey Gundlach is sounding the alarm, and Yahoo Finance's Julia LaRoche is here to discuss. So in June, Gundlach upped the odds of a recession to 65% within the next 12 months, and given the market action we have seen lately, what's he thinking now?
Well, it's not just what's happened lately. I mean, he looks at recession indicators every time he does a webcast. So I spoke to him yesterday after the market closed for about 40 minutes about a variety of topics, and he put the probability of a recession in the next 15 months before the 2020 election, so given a 15-month window, at 75%. And the one thing that is really flashing recessionary, full-on recession right now is the yield curve. But we also talked about different indicators that he looks at, whether it's the PMIs, look at the PMI in Germany, for example, and even here in the US, starting to get lower. Various sentiment surveys also starting to get lower. So those are the things that are on his radar right now.
There is the fear that, like, the more we talk it up, the sort of likelier it is. Do you get that impression at all? It's like, well, there's actually a lot of really positive indicators, especially about the U.S. economy. You know, we heard Jay Powell saying the problem is the global picture. It's not us. Health of the U.S. consumer good. And yet, the more that experts come around and say recession's coming, it's like, well, you're trying to make it happen?
Well, okay, so Jeffrey Gundlach is of the viewpoint that global stock market peaked on January 26th of 2018, and he basically pointed out that the New York Stock Exchange composite has not even reached that level again, and even other indices that did touch those highs again really haven't maintained those highs. So he's of the mindset that we've topped there, that we're starting to see weakening in the economy. Look at the data that was just referencing the PMIs, for example, the sentiment surveys. Also, he brought up stocks, and one of the things that you often hear is this acronym called TINA. There is no other alternative to U.S. stocks, but really he says if you go back the last 18 months, you made more money investing in bonds than you did in stocks.
And then also on gold, because that is something that has really been beaten down, kind of forgotten. Everyone makes fun of people who like gold, but now it's at a 7-year high. I mean, what's Gundlach's view on where gold goes from here?
Yeah, and guys, I wish Jeffrey was here to explain this stuff because he does a lot better job than I can ever do. But last summer, in June of 2018, he did talk about gold and was saying if it reached the 1,200 level, that would be an interesting buying opportunity. So it did drop below that in August of last year. And then on September 11th of 2018, during a webcast, he said now is a really good time to buy gold. It was at that 1,200 level. And the reason for buying gold is that it's basically the way it's been moving upward is as the volume of negative yielding debt has ballooned in the world, which is now 15 trillion. The price of gold has moved up, and as we see the volume of that negative yielding debt start to grow, then the price of gold should go up. And so basically from that 1,200 level up to 1,400, and now he thinks that it could go up to 1,600, 1,700 levels. These are levels, guys, we have not seen since the beginning of 2013. And remember back then, that's when gold did take quite a spill. And another interesting point to note, because it reminds me of back in 2011 when everyone was like, gold, gold, gold. Just remember that big 3-year run-up in gold when it was about like 1,900. I remember that run-up. A lot of folks were asking him at the time about his views on gold, and right now the U.S. folks aren't the buyers of gold. Really, it's the foreign demand. And a lot of times, though, when the U.S. folks really start to get in, that's when you know they're expecting that big momentum run-up in the
Gold bugs rejoice.
There you go. Congrats to the gold bugs.
He nailed that trade. Got to give it to him for that.
Julia LaRoche, we'll talk to you later.
In 2 weeks.
That long.
Enjoy your honeymoon, Julia. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, right.
All right.